Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the 2016 format. On one side, we got the MetalBox deck as used by Gustavo Wada, a top 8 Worlds competitor in the Masters division, going up against the Night March deck, as used by Curcio, another top 8 Worlds competitor in the Masters division. The MetalBox deck is going to be focused on using Bronzong's ability and Max Elixir to power up Metal-type Pokemon on the bench to take big knockouts. And the Night March deck is going to be focused on dumping the Night March Pokemon into the discard pile to deal 20 damage times the number of Pokemon discarded, and then hitting for a single double colorless energy for big damage. So we'll see which of these two decks can get the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to my Twitter account at Holland_Phantom so you don't miss out on any new Pokemon TCG content. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players to bring over their starting Pokemon. On the Bronzong side, we got Aegislash as the active Pokemon, and on the Night March side, we've got Mew as the active Pokemon. The Night March side is going first, placing a Joltik onto the bench and then activating a Battle Compressor. And now the player can search the deck for up to 3 cards to send to the discard pile, and the 3 cards chosen are going to be a Lampent. So with 3 Lampent in the discard pile, Night March can hit for 60 damage. Okay, now the next card is going to be a Trainer's Mail. The player looks at the top 4 cards of the deck, and then they can choose to keep any trainer cards that they find in their hand. Okay, now the other 3 cards can be shuffled back into the deck, and the chosen card is going to be Professor Sycamore. So let's see if the player's going to be activating it now. Not yet. There we see the double colorless energy coming down to the bench Joltik, followed by the stadium card Dimension Valley. Okay, there's the Professor Sycamore discarding the entire hand to then draw 7 brand new cards. So let's see what else the player can do for their first turn. If they have any more item cards or Pokemon to place down. There we see another Joltik coming down to the bench. And that's going to be it. Turn passes over to the Bronzong side. So let's see what they can do for their first turn. There we see a Bronzor coming down, followed by a second Bronzor. Okay, 2 of them coming down to the bench already. Followed by an Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards from the hand. Okay, that's going to be discarding a Metal Energy and a Genesect for any Pokemon from the deck. And the chosen card is going to be a Cobalion coming down to the bench. It's going to be a good attacker into this Night March deck as it's a single prize attacker. And now the supporter card is going to be N, forcing both players to shuffle away their hands and draw 1 card for each of their remaining prize cards. So at the beginning of the game, both players are going to be drawing 6 cards each. There we see the cards being drawn. And let's see what else the player can do. Do they have any energies to attach for the turn? Or any more Pokemon to place down on the bench? Okay, there we see a Metal Energy coming down to the active Aegislash, followed by Battle Compressor. Okay, just like the previous turn, the player's going to be searching their deck for up to 3 cards to send to the discard pile. There we see 2 Metal Energies. Oh, and that's going to be it. Just 2 Metal Energies going to the discard pile to be attached by Bronzong later in the game. And that's going to be it. Turn passes back over the Night March side. So let's see what they can do now. There we see another double colorless energy coming down to the second Joltik. And now the first Joltik gets a Fighting Fury Belt. It's a tool card that gives it 40 more HP and 10 more attack points. There we see another Professor Sycamore, discarding the rest of the hand, draw another 7 cards, and the player did discard, it was 2 Pumpkaboo, I think it was. So that's going to be 2 more Night March Pokemon in the discard pile, for a total of 5. And now Night March can hit for 100 damage. Okay, there we see the Escape Rope, forcing both players to swap out their active Pokemon. So we're going to be seeing a Bronzor and Joltik coming into the active spot, so this should be the first KO. Yeah, there's the attack, Night March, taking the KO against Bronzor, and taking the first prize for the Night March side. Okay, now Cobalion's going to be coming into the active spot next. And now the Bronzor evolves into Bronzong, followed by Professor Sycamore on the Bronzong side. Discarding the hand to draw 7 cards. Okay, let's see if they have any more Pokemon or energy cards to use. There we see the manual attachment, the Metal Energy coming onto the active Cobalion, and there we see the ability Metal Links from the Bronzong, getting a Metal Energy from the discard pile onto the Aegislash on the bench. It just needs 1 more energy to be fully powered up. Okay, actually this might do it. There we see Max Elixir. Looking at the top 6 cards of the deck, if the player gets a Metal Energy, they can attach it to the Aegislash. And they got it. Okay, so it's now fully powered up, but it can't attack yet because Cobalion is in the active spot, unless the player has a Floatstone to let it retreat for free. Otherwise, Cobalion can attack with its Quick Guard attack. It doesn't do any damage, but it also protects itself from any damage on the following turn. Okay, now Cobalion also gets a Fighting Fury belt for some more HP. And yeah, there's the attack Quick Guard. It cannot take any damage from any basic Pokemon on the following turn. Okay, but the Night March player activates Lysander to bring up the Bronzong into the active spot. And this is going to be the second KO, as Bronzong only has 90 HP, and Joltik can hit for 110 damage. Yeah, there's the KO. That's another prize card taken by this Joltik. Okay, on the Bronzong side, the Aegislash comes back into the active spot. It is now fully powered up. And it also has the ability called Mighty Shield. It cannot take any damage from Pokemon that have special energy cards. And the Night March side only runs special energy card. So as long as Aegislash is in the active spot, this Joltik cannot deal any damage. Okay, the player also activated another N. So they get to draw 6 cards, but the Night March player only draws 4 now. Okay, then we see another Bronzor coming down to the bench, followed by another Ultra Ball, discarding Lysander and AZ for any Pokemon from the deck. So let's see what else they get. Okay, it's going to be the last Bronzor of the deck to replace the ones that were KO'd earlier in the game. So once again, the player has 2 Bronzor on their bench. And there's the attack, Slash Blast, taking the KO against Joltik and taking the first prize card for the Bronzong side now. Let's see if they can get back into this game. Okay, the dice counter was updated to a total of 6. So Night March can now hit for 120 damage. And there we see another Lysander, bringing up another Bronzor to take the third prize card. Now Mew retreats for free to promote the second Joltik. And there's the Night March attack, taking the KO against Bronzor, taking the third prize card. And the Night March side is halfway there to winning this game. Now Aegislash comes back into the active spot, and the player activates Max Elixir, once again looking at the top 6 cards of the deck for any Metal Energy to attach to one of their benched Pokemon. Oh, but actually they didn't get anything, so all the cards get shuffled back in. And let's see what else they can do this turn. There we see the Float Stone coming down to the Aegislash, giving it a free retreat cost, followed by Professor Sycamore to discard the rest of the hand and draw another 7 cards. So let's see if the player gets the Bronzong to evolve the Bronzor again. Okay, there we see another Bronzong evolving on the bench. That activates the ability Metal Links to get a Metal Energy from the discard pile onto itself. So just in case it needs to attack, but it does need 3 energies to start dealing damage. Okay, there's the attack, another Slash Blast, taking the KO against Joltik and taking the second prize card for the Bronzong side. And now Mew is the only Pokemon on the Night March side. There we see a VS Seeker coming down to search the discard pile for any supporter card, and the player's going to be searching out their teammates. Teammates can only be activated if one of the player's Pokemon was KO'd on the previous turn, but now they can search their deck for any 2 cards that they want. So there we see the 2 cards being chosen. They don't have to reveal them to their opponent. But this might be another Joltik and another double colorless energy. Actually, it might have been these 2 puzzle of timepieces. They can activate them at the same time to then search their discard pile for any 2 cards to add back into their hand. So the chosen cards are going to be an Escape Rope and the VS Seeker once again. Okay, there we see another Joltik coming down to the bench. Mew retreats to promote the Joltik. Okay, there we see the Escape Rope, once again forcing both players to swap out their active Pokemon. So Aegislash goes back to the bench to promote the Cobalion. Okay, and now it looks like Mew is going to be the attacker. Mew has the ability called Memories of Dawn, letting it copy the attacks of all basic Pokemon on its side of the field, so it copies the Night March attack. But it only hits for 120 damage, not enough to take the KO against Cobalion. And now on the Bronzong side there we see another Metal Lynx, getting another Metal Energy onto the Bronzong. It just needs 1 more to be fully powered up. And this should be the KO against Mew. But first the player activates their Stadium card, Skyfield, to replace the Dimension Valley on the other side. Followed by another N, forcing both players to shuffle away their hands. And now the Bronzong player is going to be drawing 4 cards, and Night March only draws 3. So things are not looking good for the Night March side right now, because after this Mew gets KO'd, there's only 1 energy left in the entire deck for this Joltik to attack with. Okay, there's the attack. Revenge Blast taking the KO against Mew. Now both sides are tied. 3 prizes remaining apiece. Let's see if the player has an energy to attack with Joltik, or any more Pokemon to place on the bench. Okay, they got the started in Megaphone to discard all tools on the opponent's side. And now Cobalion gets KO'd because it no longer has that HP boost from the Fighting Fury belt. So Joltik gets to take another KO without even attacking. That's 2 prizes remaining for the Night March side. Okay, now the player's going to be activating Ultra Ball, discarding Battle Compressor and Hex Maniac for any Pokemon from the deck. Let's see what they choose. It's going to be another Joltik coming down. But do they have an energy card to attack with? Okay, they have a Trainer's Mail to look at the top 4 cards of the deck. Let's see what they get. Okay, yeah, they got the VS Seeker out of the top 4 cards, and now they can use this to get any supporter card from the discard pile back into their hand. So the Trainer's Mail bailed them out. Okay, there's a VS Seeker. Searching for, what's it going to be? It's going to be Professor Sycamore to draw a brand new hand of 7 cards. But even if they get the energy, they can't attack into this Aegislash. Well, they can actually. It just won't do any damage. Okay, they receive another Mew coming down to the bench, followed by a Special Charge to search the discard pile for 2 special energy cards to shuffle back into the deck. So it's going to be 2 double colorless energies. Yeah, but it looks like there's going to be no attack coming through from the Night March side this turn. But first we see another Battle Compressor. Once again, searching the deck for up to 3 cards to send to the discard pile. It's going to be the final Lampent and 2 Pumpkaboo. So I think it's going to be a total of 10 Night March Pokemon in the discard pile. And also keep in mind, there's only 12 total. So the last 2 are these Joltik that are on the field right now. The bench Joltik gets a Fighting Fury belt for more HP, and the turn passes. Okay, on the other side there we see a Metal Energy coming down to the bench Bronzong. It is now fully powered up. And the Fighting Fury belt comes down to the active Aegislash to give it 40 more HP, and there's the attack. Slash Blast, taking the KO against Joltik, and taking the 4th prize card. Okay, now on the other side, Mew comes into the active spot. Yeah, things are not looking good for the Night March player. They have to go up against the Bronzong in an Aegislash, but actually the player has the Target Whistle to search their opponent's discard pile for any Pokemon to place onto the bench. Okay, they're looking through their discard pile right now, and they're going to be choosing the Genesect that was discarded in the beginning of the game by the Ultra Ball. Okay, so the player has another path to victory. If they can take the KO against this Genesect, they can win this game. There's a Versus Seeker searching the discard pile for Lysander, yeah, to bring up the Genesect into the active spot. If the player has a double colorless energy, they can take the KO. Yeah, they got it. And Joltik is going to close out this game. There's the final attack. Night March taking the KO against Genesect to take the final 2 prizes. And there's the handshake. Night March is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.